Good evening. What are you messing with there, John?
My change.
Okay. All right. Well,
Get
it's
it ready for
important.
tomorrow night.
You for tomorrow night, for the derby tomorrow night.
No, for
Good
selling the fan.
evening. Overselling the fanzine, of course. Good evening and welcome to Red All Over YouTube. And tonight, Harvey Elliott, does he deserve more games? There is, of course, talk of the derby, and the 60th anniversary is coming up of the most important cup final in Liverpool history. I'm Graham Mack, and this is the YouTube version of Red All Over the Land, the Liverpool fanzine, the longest lasting, the only surviving Liverpool fanzine. It's been available at the game and online in various other places as well. The editor is John Pearman. How are you, John?
I'm fine, thank you.
So let's start with the fanzine then. What's in the latest issue?
Well, sadly we have to cover the League Cup final,
Yeah.
which has been discussed at length by just about everybody.
Yeah.
And Newcastle celebrated their triumph with a huge, big parade on at the weekend, and I don't blame them. It was their first first domestic trophy since 1955.
Yeah.
So they certainly made hay out of it, and good luck to them. They deserve to win on the day, but there's people who said it was our worst cup final performance ever, and some said the only one that could rival it was the one in 1996 when we lost the famed White Suit Cup final to a team I can't remember.
From Salford, aren't they? Yeah.
Some that way up, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's in there, and of course we talk about the forthcoming event on May the 1st.
Yeah, we
But
got more to talk about that. Yeah, we're going to talk
yeah,
about that a bit later on. Yeah.
and also, do fanzines have a future, mainly in the Premier Division?
Okay. How are sales, John? Are they holding up? Because
Uh,
we're in a completely different world to when you started this. How many years ago?
29 and a half.
29 and a half years ago you started the fanzine. You've had them out every season. Nothing has stopped you. Not even.
Well, basically, I think we've sold them at every home game over the last 29 and a half years.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody somewhere was selling Red all over the land, no matter who we were playing or where at Anfield.
But
Yeah,
now in
so
this multimedia world, selling the paper copy of it can't be the same as it was back in the days when the only way to find out what the fans were talking about, the voice of the fans, was to buy the actual paper version. There are,
I think
there's all sorts these days.
I think that sales have dropped this year. There's no doubt about that, but there are mitigating circumstances, as we're all finding out today. April Fool's Day
Yeah.
is the day the government tell us all these new hits on families are taking place.
Yeah.
So people probably look at, if they can save £25 by not subscribing to the fanzine, they'll do that.
Yeah.
Um, but match day sales, the hardest bit really has been the weather. We've had some absolutely shocking days in the winter, and like the Manchester United game, nobody could get there. So so
Yeah.
we only had Andy not selling, and I think he sold about 15. So,
Right.
but so there are things like that. But we hope for the remainder of the season. There's two more issues after this one. Hopefully that will the sales will improve. Online sales are down as well, as but say I think that is down to the fact that people are now cutting corners,
Mm.
cutting costs, and the
Mm.
fanzine is possibly the least important thing on their agenda.
It's only £2 though, John.
Yeah, true, but say £25 to subscribe. The funny thing is, the overseas subscriptions have held up, so it must be something about a UK thing. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
honestly know.
Harvey Elliott's on the cover. Why is that?
Well, to me, Harvey Elliott uh, hasn't been given a fair crack of the whip, as far as I'm concerned. I would have to say that maybe Arne Slot and his team know something that we don't know. In fact, they probably do, because we don't know very much at all when it comes to what happens behind the ivory walls of Kirby. But one of the Jurgen Klopp's final comments when he left was he regretted not picking Harvey more often, because every time Harvey came on, he seemed to have an impact. Harvey's 21, nearly 22. And when you think people like Steven Gerrard were already internationals at that age, it just doesn't, to me, seem to be getting a fair crack of the whip. Since Christmas, I'm not criticising any player, or not intending to criticise any player, but like Ryan Gravenberg hasn't been the player he was before Christmas. That could be too much football, too many kicks, or whatever it may be. But he gets picked. He gets picked, and Harvey doesn't. Other players have been picked ahead of him. Yeah, but it just seems to me that he's not given a fair shot. Yeah, when he came on in the cup final, I've not seen the cup final, but I'm told he was our best player. He wasn't on for long, but he was our best player.
Yeah. All right, so you dig into that in the fanzine, and it is the voice of the fans. It's for the fans. It's by the fans. It's issue 311. It'll be on sale tomorrow night at the Derby and beyond.
Oh well, the Derby and then the West Ham game.
Right.
I don't think we've anybody going to Fulham, so we can't sell it there, which is a shame, because that always used to be a good place to sell. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, now we can't get the tickets. We used to have 4 or 5 people selling at Fulham. We'd sell 200 to 300.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's not happening now. But
Well,
they're the
you can subscribe online, readallovertheland.com. Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I say the subscriptions have dropped. It's, as I said, it could be down to the cost of living. People, or maybe the Jurgen effect. When Jurgen left, people said, "Well, that's me done." I don't know. Nobody
Yeah.
knows, because I actually emailed every person that hadn't renewed the subscription. So, can you tell me why? And one said he'd only about 3 responded. One said he was travelling abroad. Another said he was going to pick it up at the game. Oh, a couple more said they just didn't want it anymore. But that was it. So we didn't get
Okay.
any genuine feedback.
Okay. All right. No in-depth market research there yet, John. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
the way you work, is it? All right.
No,
Let's talk about some other players. Do we know what the hell is going on with Trent, Mo, and Virgil?
Mo and Virgil are possibly a different story to Trent.
Yeah, because
Um,
some more solid. The rumor about Trent got a lot more solid this week, didn't it? About
well,
Real Madrid.
Trent basically said he wasn't going to discuss he's never discussed a contract, and he wasn't going to discuss this one, which we all have to respect. He apparently he wants to go to play for Real Madrid,
Yeah.
and you got to look at what that offers him. Real Madrid guaranteed trophies year after year after year. If Real Madrid don't win the league in Spain, then in fact winning the league is not the important thing for them. It's winning the European Cup. They've done that 15 times. So you go there, you guaranteed trophies. Um, the pressure on the player, I would say, is less than it is. When I say pressure, I'm talking about the intensity of the games. Um, Real Madrid could play a team from the bottom of the Spanish league and know they're going to win. You can't do that in the Premier Division. You can be top 4 and play a team from the bottom 6, and you can have a fight on your hands. We
Mm.
found that out. We struggled to beat Wolves twice.
Mm.
We were not exactly over impressive against Southampton twice. and they're going down. They're probably the worst team in the Premier Division at this moment. Anyway, they're the worst team in Premier Division history. Um, and Ipswich, they beat Chelsea at Christmas, so this away from home, so the things
Well,
can
they knocked
happen.
us out of the cup, although it wasn't our first team they knocked out, but still, they knocked us out.
Sorry,
They knocked us out the cup.
Plymouth.
Yeah,
Yeah. But say Ipswich had won at Chelsea. It's a different, but the pressure games, and in England you're playing twice a week.
yeah,
That's the crux of the matter. Abroad, you play twice a week, but as I say, they can rest players. If Real Madrid are playing a team from say Espanyol or somebody like that, they don't have to bother putting the first team out. They can rest players quite easily. We can't do that. If you did, and then we get a result like we got at Plymouth, for example, yeah, the knives are out. The
yeah,
knives are out. But
yeah. And if it turns out that Trent is going to Real Madrid, that's got to be one of football's worst kept secrets, because in the pre-season game, I heard people in Anfield talking about it. Well, not talking about it, just talking about saying it was a fact. That's what's happening. He's going. So I suppose he has to keep quiet about it. There's no other way. You can't say he hasn't handled it well, because he's handled it as well as he can under the circumstances. He hasn't
well,
spoken about it.
it's his private life, isn't it? It's his
Yeah,
business. The other thing about Real Madrid at this moment in time, they've got, but I would say, arguably anyway, the best coach in football history in Ancelotti. He's
yeah.
won trophies wherever he's been, apart from his
Everton.
short stay at Goodison. But
Yeah,
he's the only. He won at Anfield with Everton, so he's a classic Mac coach, an absolute genius in football terms. So you're going to play for one of the greatest coaches in the game. He's 26. He's going to improve. His
mm,
knowledge of the game will improve under Ancelotti, I'm
mm,
sure.
mm.
Um, but I will use the Kenny Dalglish quote that somebody sent me. If you don't want to play for Liverpool, we don't want you here, and
Yeah,
that's it. Yeah,
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
It doesn't stop Trent still being a Liverpool fan, but if he doesn't want to play, then go. It's the only way forward for him. But I
yeah.
will say this: we've lost. The only player I regret losing in the last 25 years was Steven Gerrard, because I still think we had 2 years in him, and we could have done something, and he would have been playing under Jurgen Klopp, and who knows what difference that would have made.
Yeah.
Um, but all the other players have gone. We replace them. We replaced Michael Owen when he left. We've replaced everybody.
Mm.
And that's how it works. So the same will happen. Mo and Virgil will be going at one time, so you've got to replace them sooner. In their case, it's going to be sooner rather than later.
Mm.
So we have to wait and see what happens. I don't want Mo to go, because I mean, Mo, to me, you look at him, he's so fit, he's so um, he's such a talented footballer. In my opinion, the best in the world at the moment.
Mm.
So I think he could play for another 2 years, and the club should have sorted that out. And the thing is, if you give them contracts, and then somebody like from Saudi Arabia comes in and says we want him, then they're going to offer you 100 million. Then you've got your own clause, your buyout clause. Yeah, we can sell him for that money,
Mm.
and then we can replace it. We're replacing a 34, 35-year-old player, not a 32-year-old player who's, in my opinion, at the peak of his career. And the same goes for Virgil. Virgil can read a game of football like some people read the newspaper, if they
Well,
still
in
read
in
the
the
newspaper.
rebuild of Liverpool that under Klopp, I think Virgil was the one that made the biggest difference to what was going on the field, because we had real problems back there, and Virgil sorted them all out, didn't he? And then scored in the derby. I mean, he just hit the ground running, didn't he? So he
Oh
would be
yeah,
hard to replace.
I would say that 2 years, 3 years ago, before COVID, definitely, Virgil was the best centre half, not in Europe, but in the world.
Yeah.
and we had him playing for us. It was a tower of strength, and it still is. I mean, obviously he's lost a little bit in pace because of his age, but he can read a game of football. He knows what's going on. He knows what somebody's going to do before they've done it, and that's how he is.
Mm.
You can't replace talent like that.
Yeah. We'll just have to see what happens, John. How is the mood of the fans at the minute? You speak to more fans than probably anybody I know. Um, since we've had the couple of results didn't go our way and very big games, crucial games, are the fans a bit down?
Yes, they are. Strangely, we're top of the league, 12 points. We know what we've got to do to win the league. That is win 5 games. Um, but yeah, the mood is. It seemed to be been a bit depressive. Um, I was listening to something today. I think it was from the Anfield Rap, and they on one of their discussions. They were saying the same. The mood has dropped. But we were on after we played Newcastle. I left the ground, and I was thinking, this is it. I'm the doubting Thomas, and I thought I was thinking, this is it. And I got home convinced it was now ours. We were going to win it. Then we played Southampton. We played away in Paris and we won 1-0. Harvey Elliott scoring. He was only been on the pitch for
But
30
we only
seconds.
just won, didn't we? We're not the better team in that
Oh,
away
no,
leg.
no. They were the
Not
better
even
team. And
in both
Allison,
legs. Yeah.
Allison was like an octopus. He's that many hands. But then we played Southampton and we were very, very fortunate to win the game. We deserved to win the game, let's be honest. But we were misfiring. We needed 2 penalties to get a 3-1 win.
Mm.
So that was that. And then we got knocked out by Paris in the game at Anfield. And they look fitter, faster than us. They look far, far more alive than we were. People said put it down to too many games, but you can't use that excuse every time. Um, didn't miss a chance in the first 5 minutes. Somebody got a block in, and the ball. Had that gone in, it would have been 2-0 on the aggregate. So, but we never. I can't. I stood there on the cop and I said to the guy next to me, I can't see us scoring. And even when it went to penalties, we both agreed we hadn't got enough penalty takers on the pitch.
Mm.
But again, I thought the manager's substitutions came far, far too late. They didn't have any effect. He swapped Jota for Nunez, and Nunez has been. I like Nunez because he's an all-out trier, or
Yeah.
most of the time, and he's a fan's favourite in a lot of other ways. But it's been a disappointment when we look back over his time at Anfield. And he
He's been.
came on to replace Jota, and Jota, since he came back from injury, has not been the same player. It's like a boxer. You can take too many punches, too many thumps, and you end up you slow down. And that I think Jota's had that many injuries. He's finally slowed down.
Mm.
And Nunes, just as I say, he never picked the game up at all. So that was it. But yeah, we lost them. Then of course came the cup final, and again excuses were levelled. Too many games. Well, we played on the Tuesday. Newcastle played on the Monday that week. We can't use that all the time. Yes, our players are looking a bit leggy, but we had that problem last year. We had that problem when we lost out to Man City the first time. When we lost out to Man City, although we won the European Cup the second time, we we've had this problem of getting leggy. It's because we don't have the number of players that Manchester City have got.
Mm.
We have played more games than most, but we should have had the foresight. Somebody should have had the foresight to say, let's just give ourselves a little bit of a cushion. So we haven't got a right back, so we're having to play somebody who doesn't play right back.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think, yes, there's some things like that's self-inflicted. And so if we fall over, if we do Devon Lock, if anybody knows who Devon Lock was, the horse that was winning the Grand National by a distance and then jumped a fence that wasn't there. Um, yeah, that's how it seems. We're going to jump the fence that wasn't there because we're going to fall over our own feet. That's what some people are feeling. Me
And you,
personally,
yeah,
uh, I've put in the fanzine. The first I've quoted Pete Seeger's song "It Takes a Worried Man to Sing a Worried Song." I'm worried now, but I won't be worried long, or will I be? That's how I'm looking at it at the moment. We shouldn't be worrying. If we win tomorrow night, the mood will. If we win tomorrow night and Sunday, the mood will be back up there in the sunny skies. Yeah,
yeah,
but failure. If we fail now, heads will roll.
yeah.
Should roll.
It's a shame that the break. I mean, it feels like it's been 3 weeks. I think it's been quite
Oh
3 weeks.
yeah,
Has it since?
yeah,
Has it?
yeah.
It's a shame that break came when it did, when we were on a bit of a downer. So we've had to mope around waiting for the next game because by now we could have played another 6 games and been flying. You know what I mean? Or at least had something to sing about, and that's got to contribute to it, hasn't it?
It possibly, yes. It's hard to say because I'm one of them. I've seen our team play, and then we've rested players, and then when they come back, we're not there. And because I read somewhere where players like to play twice a week.
Right.
So if they were playing twice a week, then they it's like they're used to it. There's something they can do, and I'm sure they'd all tell you we'd rather play than train.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the race for the Premiership then, John. Is the fat lady clearing her throat?
She's gargling, maybe. Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah, but I just, as I say, takes a worried man. uh, to me, we should be, but we go to the game tomorrow night and there's pressure on us. There's no pressure on Everton apart from the fact that it's the derby. There's no pressure on Everton.
Yeah,
There's
I think some
clear.
Evertonians. I mean, when I was at Radio Merseyside, Billy Butler used to say that he always thought the derby was played over 2 legs, and I think that is how Evertonians look at it. So it's just to soften the
Well,
blow. I think you know
if
what I
it, if it
mean.
if it is played over 2 legs, they've not knocked us out of many things, have they?
No, they haven't. No, but I mean, it does make it a little bit easier for them to handle some of the
Oh yeah,
embarrassments.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, well, they
So
say they've got no pressure on them. They can come. They're one of the few teams in the league that's not got any pressure. There's pressure on teams like if you go from Fulham upwards in the league, Fulham, Bournemouth, Brighton, they can all qualify for Europe via
yeah,
one route or the other. I think there's Everton, West Ham. Yeah, they can't, and the teams at the bottom they're going down anyway. So
yeah.
it,
Everton have
it,
always been in that place pretty much. There's been the odd season when they've been staring relegation in the face, but not many. Usually, they're not worried about going down, and they've got nothing else to play for. Yeah,
yeah,
the pressure's
that's it.
always off them.
So I mean, tomorrow is as it will get said. Tomorrow's their cup final.
Yeah,
They World European Cup final and FA Cup final and every other cup final you can think of.
yeah,
And boy, will they want to come and do some damage tomorrow. And
yeah.
David Moyes is never won at Anfield,
Okay,
so
right.
yeah, so it's let's wait and see.
Okay, all right. See, are you looking forward to? Some people don't even look forward to the derby. Where are you with that?
I don't look forward to the derby because the pressure that's on you, as a fan, you're
Yeah,
watching it. Uh, I mean, I can remember the time when we knocked them out the FA Cup with the kids, as we put it in the fanzine. It was just a gang of kids, um, and that was fantastic. But yeah, we didn't want to lose that. We knew what we were doing. We just didn't want to lose the game. Losing to Everton to me is like losing your right arm or left leg or whatever it is. It's they're
Yeah,
the ones I use most. I'm right-handed and can kick with my left foot, or used to be able to. So
yeah,
yeah, it's pressure in that way. But I went to games in Jurgen's time when there was no pressure and it felt different. Not very often, but when we had a game when there was no pressure on us, you just think, oh, why are we bothering? So we like the pressure. Yeah, we
yeah,
like it. If you're under pressure, there's a reason, and the reason
yeah,
is, in our case, it's because we know what we're chasing. And
yeah.
I've said all season, I dismiss thoughts of quadruples, trebles, or doubles. I just want one trophy, but one final ambition. And that's to be on the Strand when Liverpool take the trophy past on the bus. Assuming
Those
we go down the Strand.
those who have seen you at the match, John, for many years and for as long as I've known you, you're known as the man in black because you wear all black at the game.
Yeah.
And you did say that when Liverpool win the Premiership, you would wear white at the game. And Liverpool did win the Premiership, but you seem to have weaseled out of it on a technicality because it was during COVID.
Yeah, well, I couldn't go, you see. So,
Okay, well,
but
yeah, but this
I
time,
promised.
will we see the man in white make an appearance if
Yes,
Liverpool win
yes.
it?
It'll be more John Lennon than John Travolta.
Okay,
So,
as long as it's
but
not like the '96 final, we don't want.
oh, it won't be a
Yeah,
cream suit. No,
yeah,
no.
okay,
It'll be as near to white as I can get.
all right.
But yeah, and it would be nice if we could do it on the day. We know before the last game of the season.
Okay, so
So,
it could even happen this season.
oh yes, 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 yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's a
Uh,
promise.
okay, great. The 60th anniversary is approaching of the first time Liverpool won the FA Cup, 1965. We've spoken about this many times, but for those that don't know, how big a deal was that final and winning that first FA Cup?
To anybody under a certain age, maybe under 50 now, it's hard to explain to them what that meant because it was the first time Liverpool had ever won the FA Cup, and the FA Cup back then it was the biggest cup competition in the world. I mean, they still say it's the most famous cup competition in the world. It's famous because of its past. It's not famous because of its present. Now teams get to Wembley. They play the semi-final at Wembley. The only thing that you used to have on your agenda at the start of the season, if you're a club that was in the then third divisions, north or south, now then which became the third or fourth division, you wanted a cup run. Cup runs meant money, um, and it didn't matter who you played. If you got through to round three for a club from divisions 3 or 4, or north or south, got through to round three, they wanted an away game against a big side,
Mm.
simply because the pounds sign that would roll. They knew they weren't going to get through to Wembley, but the longer they stayed in the cup, the more money they made, and that was the ambition. And the very first game I ever went to watching the FA Cup was probably about 1955, and it was when my dad's works team, not that he had anything to do with it, they were called Brush Sports. They were playing Hinckley Athletic and Browns Lane in Loughborough, and this was the first qualifying round. So you're 4 rounds from round one, and there was over 2,500 there. Well, you get games now in round three, and you don't get 2,500 there.
Mm.
Um, and so that was how magical the FA Cup was. Thousands of people would go to games. Liverpool could play a third round of the FA Cup game and get 55,000 inside Anfield, and then play a league game 7 days later and get 35,000. That's
Mm.
how big the FA Cup was. So having lost to Burnley in 1914, having lost to Arsenal in 1951, to get there again in 1965, it meant so much to so many people. And Everton had already won the cup 3 times, so it was huge to them. You know they wanted the FA Cup. They could crow about the FA Cup. They used to make fun. They used to mock Liverpool fans, saying that the liver birds would fly away before Liverpool won the FA Cup. Well, I was in Liverpool the other day, and the liver birds were still there. So we've obviously that was a myth, and but we've now won the cup. I think it's 4 times, more times than Everton. So yeah, that's how it was. It was so big, and the quarter final game, Liverpool played a replay on a Wednesday night against Leicester City, and there was 50 odd thousand in the ground. And there was another at least 10. That's the one.
Yeah,
There was at least
this is my granddad's. My granddad, before he died, gave me all his old Liverpool programs. He used to watch them home and away. And on that cup run, he went to every single game that Liverpool played in the cup, and including the final, home and away. I mean, there's the 6th round Bolton Wanderers,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the one I can't find. I've checked them now. I can't find the Aston Villa, the Chelsea one at Aston Villa. Either my memory is that I had that as well, and I couldn't find it tonight. So either I've misplaced that, and it's not with the others, or he never actually had it. I never had it. I don't know. But yeah, sorry, John. So you're talking about this one. This was the 5th round at Bolton.
That was the 5th round at Bolton. Ian Callaghan got the only goal, and there was something like 60,000 people at Burnden Park. You know, it was incredible, and they said there were 10,000 Liverpool fans. There was probably 25,000 because Liverpool fans had gone to Bolton when they were selling the tickets and just bought them. No one used to say, "Have you got this? Have you got that?" to show. Yeah, you just turned up and bought them, and of
Yeah,
course. And there were buses actually when people put buses on to go to Bolton to buy tickets. So Liverpool fans, and there were no segregation, so
yeah,
you're all over the ground. But that game against Leicester, the replay at Anfield after the 0-0 draw, the programme that you've got there,
yeah.
um,
Yeah,
there,
I've
were,
got
there
the
was
one
the
from the replay. I haven't. Yeah, I've got that one, but I haven't got it with me here. But I've got that one, the Anfield one. Yeah,
there were 50 odd thousand inside, and there was the estimated between 10 and 15,000 outside couldn't get in. So that was the FA Cup, and that was how it was. You know, it was huge, and of course the semi final against Chelsea. Now there's Chelsea are etched in our history. Chelsea, as Liverpool fans say, haven't got any, but they're etched in our history because the 1965 semi-final at Villa Park was against Chelsea. There was 70 plus thousand at the game, and of course Liverpool had just come back from beating Cologne in Rotterdam in the replay of the European Cup, where they won on the toss of a coin. And again, there were hard to estimate how many Liverpool fans were there. There was probably in excess of 40,000 because I got my ticket from Villa. I went to Villa Park and got my ticket with a friend of mine, and went with a carload of friends from work, 2 of them who were Liverpool fans, and. But when I went for my ticket, at Villa Park, the queue there probably a couple of hundred in the queue that were Villa fans. The others were all either Liverpool fans or Chelsea fans. So they'd all gone there to make sure they could get a ticket. So that's how it worked, and it was an incredible day. So we had to beat Chelsea, and we did beat Chelsea. And Willie Stevenson, I think, scored the first, and Peter Thompson got the goal that won it, decided it. And there was a pitch invasion each time. So, and at the end, the players couldn't get off the pitch as they were basically carried off by the Liverpool fans. It was an incredible day all round.
And there was a song about it, and you found a version of it, John. Just set this up for us.
Right. Well, there's a song that goes, it was on the bus from Villa Park, and we don't know who actually sang the original, but we've unearthed another recording of it. I've got a feeling the Spinners might have been involved in the original, but I could also be wrong on that. But no, anyway, this other version that's been sent to us from by Mark Clatt, and it's quite it's unique.
Do
You
we know who
recognise.
this version's about? Who it's from? Who does it?
No, but we're
Okay.
trying to find that out. I think it was done specifically for LFC TV, so we're trying to find out who actually sang
Okay,
it.
well, if someone can tell us who sings the remake, but if someone more importantly knows who's watching this, can tell us who did the original, this is the song all about the on the bus from Villa Park.
On the bus to Villa Park, hooroo, hooroo. Now I heard my mate make this remark, hooroo, hooroo. We may put Chelsea weeping nil, and it's Liverpool 2 and it's Chelsea nil. And we'll all get blind drunk when Liverpool win the cup. So here's to Lawrence, Burn, St. John, hooroo, hooroo. Milne and Yates and Stevenson, hooroo, hooroo. Holland, Thompson, Waterman, Lola Smith and Callahan, and we'll all get blind drunk when Liverpool win the cup. Liverpool lads, you raise your glass, hooroo, hooroo. To Stevenson who made the pass, hooroo, hooroo. Thompson had them in a trance, the Netty never stood a chance, and we'll all get blind drunk when Liverpool win the cup. Wembley on the 1st of May, hooroo, hooroo. It's Leeds United's Labour Day, hooroo, hooroo. We'll be there to keep Bill Shankly side and bring the cup to Merseyside, and we'll all get blind drunk when Liverpool win the cup. And if it's a draw, you'll hear us moan. Let's use a coin, that big cologne, 'cause we'll all get blind drunk when Liverpool win the cup. Na 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 na.
That's great, isn't it? That
I
really
think
is
it's
good.
fantastic, and thank you to Mark Platt for sharing it. And it was. You can tell it was it basically is a pub song, wasn't it? You know,
Yeah,
if you listen to the la 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 at the bit, it's a little bit like the Fernando Torres "We're Going to
yeah,
Bounce" in here. And I think the song is "Johnny Comes Marching Home."
yeah. I love the line, and we'll use we'll if it's a draw, we'll use the coin that beat Cologne. I mean, I love that.
Yeah.
Because it's bizarre today that they would decide an important match by the flip of a coin. Was that what was going to happen if it was a draw at Wembley back then?
No.
They would have gone to replay, wouldn't they?
They'd have played replays, and they'd played
Yeah.
replays until the final was the semi-final or the final was decided. You could play some teams. I can't remember who they played. But Sheffield Wednesday played somebody. I think they played about 5 games before they actually decided it. You know, the semi-finals were kicking off, and they were still getting through the 3rd round.
Yeah, yeah,
But that's how football was. You played until you got a result, and the same in Europe. You didn't have away goals; didn't count double. You played a replay.
Yeah.
Liverpool and Cologne had to go to Rome, to Rotterdam,
yeah,
and that was it. So it was the FA Cup was so magical. As I say, 70-odd thousand people at Villa Park, and it was just unbelievable. It was the biggest game in the football calendar anywhere.
yeah.
Anywhere.
And this is the 65 program. That's my granddad's. I've also got my dad's as well because they were both there. And my granddad is my mum's dad, my granddad Hughes, but also my dad went there. And interesting the way that the programs have changed as well when you look at some of this stuff. Like the Double Diamond advert, the beer that men drink. I mean, you'd get into trouble for that now, I would have thought. Loads of ads for cigarettes, of course, Embassy and Senior Service. But and I don't know whether my granddad bought this or my dad, but it's from the Evening Standard, so the London paper, in the run-up to it, and it says Liverpool trying for the Cup double. And, half of it is dedicated to Leeds and half of it is dedicated to Liverpool. So it's obviously came out there. And there's an advert for the Hillman Imp which says it's a great car. So obviously advertising standards weren't enforced like they are today. I don't think anyone would describe the Hillman Imp as a great car. So yeah, there's all sorts of stuff. But one of the most interesting things, and once again, I don't know if this is my dad's or my granddad's, is the community singing sheet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know whether that came with the programme or whether you paid extra for that. But
that was given to everybody that went into the ground.
Yeah, and it's got the list there of the songs that were to be sung. And for anyone who doesn't remember that, John, just explain, because you were there in '65, how the tradition of the community singing used to go, what used to happen. It wasn't just Abide With Me, was it?
No, I can't remember the exact time, but it'd be about 2:30, 25 past 2 or something like that. Yeah. Frank Ray would come out and get on his podium, and the mass band of the
Marines, Royal
Marines that day, and they would start playing these songs, and just excuse me, I'll get one of mine out.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Probably in better condition than the one I've got, John.
Well, these are reprints. So
I see. Oh, okay, right.
These are reprints. And, you get them playing John Brown's Body, which is Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. I mean, nobody was going to join in that. And Say Wonderful Things, which I think was a Ronnie Carroll hit at the time.
So they're expecting 100,000 people supporting both sides to sing these basically sing-along songs.
Oh, and they did. That was the thing before.
Right.
They did. It was a big
like
thing.
Side by Side. Oh, I ain't got a barrel of money. Was the 8th song. There's 11 songs on this sheet, John. It would have taken ages to get through.
They just select some of them out, and I mean, but the song on there, like The End of the Road, which was Birmingham, it still is Birmingham City's anthem. It's a Long Way to Tipperary, which was reversed by the Liverpool fans. It's a long way to Wembley Stadium.
Right.
But the only song they've got on there that was anything to do with Merseyside was this one here, and it's called She Loves You.
Yes.
But I don't think they got round to that because all Frank Reed would say to people is wave your song sheet. So everybody would wave the song sheets in the air. And before Wembley had a roof, it was quite a picture.
Yeah.
But when they put the roof on, of course, you couldn't see half of them. But it was this was the biggest waste of money on the day because the Liverpool fans sang their own songs.
Yes.
And they when it come to the national anthem, they actually did sing the national anthem, but it was God Save Our Team.
Yeah.
Abide With Me was sung with feeling. There was no messing around on that.
Yeah.
But the Leeds fans did sing on Ilkley Moor before realising that actually didn't mean very much to them. So they came up with Marching All Together and other things.
Right.
That was later in life, should we say? But the COP, the Liverpool fans, and there was probably, I would say, Liverpool fans outnumbered Leeds fans 2-1.
Right.
But the Liverpool fans were singing, "We'll be running round Wembley with the cup. E-I-A-D-O, the Queen is wearing red," which she was. I mean, you can imagine the outcry today, if even that.
Yes.
And I don't think the Queen went to Wembley for another 50 odd years after that. Whether she was banned, I don't know. But the Liverpool fans were singing, and when there's a fantastic clip of the cup final towards the end when I think it's when St John has scored, and the crowd are going crazy. And there's one guy standing there like this. Whether he was a Leeds fan in the Liverpool end, I do not know, but it's fantastic. So all leading up to what we've got on May the 1st.
Yeah, which is the tribute night to. This is a night, May the 1st, the actual date, 60 years on, but this time in Liverpool instead of Wembley. Red All Over the Land has been, if you've not watched this before, John organises from time to time major events. I mean, we're talking like guests like Kevin Keegan, Phil Thompson have been, previous guests. The last one was Ronnie Whelan, wasn't it? But we've had John Aldridge and we've had Steve McMahon and Ian Callaghan at events. But this one is an event to celebrate the 60th anniversary on the actual day, but it's happening in Liverpool, isn't it, John? Tickets are on sale now.
It's at Red's Bar, and we're calling it the Bootleg Beat Leeds. And the reason for that is because the Liverpool Echo brought out a supplement, and it got Beat Leeds. And of course, we've now put it, the Beat Leeds, we've gone on to the Beatle T, which goes onto the drum. And being as there was the band, still is the band, the Bootleg Beatles, we've called this the Bootleg Beat Leeds. So we are basically replicating what happened the best we can. We're replicating what happened on May the 1st, 1965. And we're also trying to replicate the banquet menu with a sharing plate.
So this is the banquet. This is the banquet that the victorious Liverpool team had at the Grosvenor Hotel on Park Lane afterwards.
Hotel, and we've replicated the menu.
Nice, yeah.
So I'm not going to try and tell you what the food is because I don't speak French. But one is sole. There's chicken. There's anyway. It's going to be a sharing plate. Oh, I can read coffee, brandy.
Right, okay.
Brandy liqueur. So so we've got that, and we've actually Mick Clark from the Reds Bar has actually rang a prestigious chef, Michelin star chef in Scotland, Tom Kitchen, to see if he can give us some advice on how to do it. He actually explained what they all were.
Right.
So we can't afford to do the actual menu, but we're going to try and do something that's similar, but as a sharing plate. And the menu's all in French as well. We might be able to cope with the wine.
Okay, so that's happening. There's going to be an auction and also raffles, and your auction lots and raffles at your events are stunning. Can you give us a hint to some of the highlights that people might be able to bid for or win on the night?
Yes, we've got a signed photo of the team that won the FA Cup. I think it's the presentation of the trophy.
Yeah.
And we've also got a signed photo of Ron Yates with the cup when they got back to Anfield. So we've got that. We've got other things, and we're accumulating, as we do, we'll accumulate these things as we go along. We've got another just over a month to do this, but we'll accumulate things. We've got a signed photo of Bill Shankly, but it's the one from 1971 when you were there, Graham, for the homecoming.
Yes,
but we've
at St George's Hall. Yeah.
Also got a signed photo of Joe Fagan, and it's a rare one because I don't think Joe's got a fag on at the time. And we all love smoking Joe. And Bob Paisley got a photo of him.
Right.
But we're also going to have other items. We're going to, as I say, we'll accumulate them. And we've got John Aldridge coming along. John Aldridge not only played in a losing final, but also a winning final. So he's going to be there. Davy Fairclough, who didn't play in a winning final, he'll be there, but he's got experiences of when he was young watching cup finals. We've also got Howard Gale, the first black player to play for Liverpool. He would have been maybe 5, 6 when Liverpool won the cup, and Sammy Lee.
Right. Yeah.
So we've just added Sammy Lee to the list today.
So you've got a lot of Liverpool-based players there, with Davy Fairclough and John Aldridge and Sammy Lee. So they'll know what that win meant in '65, what it meant for families and people in Liverpool at the time.
It probably meant more to their parents than it did
Yes,
to their.
but they'll be able to share those stories.
Yeah. Well, I know when I was 7 or 8, you watch the cup final. Everybody on earth watched the cup final if they had a television.
From the first thing in the morning with the players in the hotels, and it was all day.
It was the biggest event, and it was always on BBC, which was something special. And then ITV joined in, but the only difference between ITV and BBC is ITV interrupted things with the adverts. So BBC got
the thing back then. For people might not realise, we only had 3 channels, and on Cup Final Saturday, 2 of them were showing the Cup Final live.
No, we only had 2 channels then because BBC Two.
In '65.
BBC. Yeah, BBC Two had only just started. Yes. Yeah. So,
but there's 3 channels, but 2 channels, BBC One and ITV, would be showing the Cup Final. When I was a kid, I don't know if it was like that in '65 or whether only the BBC had it, but ITV. It was like, if you didn't like football, you only had one choice back then.
Yeah, I think they had the racing on before the cup final. But in Scotland, of course, they would have been showing the Scottish Cup final, which was huge up in Scotland because that was still their cup was as big as the English Cup. Yeah. So, but because English football was bigger than Scottish football in the numbers that watched the games. Yeah, but the Scottish final could have tracked 130,000 because that's how Hampden Park was at the time.
Yeah,
but we're also going to do something I think is a bit unique because at the end of the night, somebody can go home with the FA Cup.
So this is a full-size replica of the FA Cup.
Yeah, it's going to be the replica of the FA Cup, and somebody can take it home.
Because that's in the raffle, is it?
That's going to be the envelope draw.
Okay, yeah. So it's not like you've got to have a lot of money and bid for it. This one is everybody's going to pay the same price for that ticket to win an FA Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can probably get it signed by some of the players there as well. The players that are the special guests as well. Yeah.
The other thing is we've also got families of the players who played in the final. Unfortunately, there's only, I think it's 3 players who were actually physically played in the final, maybe 4 that's still with us. Unfortunately, they're not all in the best of condition, not match fit, shall we say. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to get at least one to come along, even if it's only for an hour. And we'll make sure that we pick them up and take them home. It won't be they've got to get there on their own steam. So we're doing that, but we've got the families of Sir Roger. They'll be there. Tommy Lawrence, his family will be there. Chris Lawler's family will be there. So we're open. We're just trying to get as many as possible. And we've also got some of the original Shankly boys who George Scott's assembled to come along. So they'll be there as well. So it's going to be quite a Liverpool connection. And it will be, the whole night will be themed around winning the FA Cup in 1965.
Yeah.
We've also got a guy called Adrian Killen who's got the biggest collection of Liverpool memorabilia of anybody I know. And I think the Liverpool Museum's jealous of him, and he's got not only has he got the newspapers of the day, he's also got rosettes, rattles, and a paper hat that the Daily Express gave out. So if I could just if you can bear with me 1 minute. We're going to have the Liverpool Echo specials
Yeah.
there with us, and on the back of one of them is the original Beat Leeds.
Oh, there it is. There's the headline. Yeah.
That's where it
The
came
Beat
from.
Leeds.
One
Right.
of it. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing.
Brilliant.
I've got here the centre of the programme, a reprint,
Yeah.
but it's signed by all the players.
Wow. Wow.
So that may go to somebody on the night.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all good, John. Now, tickets. I know that half of the tickets have gone already. And we're a month away from it even starting. So it's at the Reds Bar, which is down by Moorfield Station, isn't it, in Liverpool? What street's that in, John? On Exchange Street, Reds Bar. That's where it is. It's on May the 1st. Is it a Thursday night?
May the 1st.
Yeah. And it's a Thursday night?
A Thursday night, yeah.
Thursday night. Okay. All right. So if you want to get tickets, you get them through redallovertheland.com or from Reds Bar. Okay. Yeah. Well, that all looks good. John, it's been a pleasure talking to you once again in the YouTube version of Red All Over the Land. Redallovertheland.com is where you'll find out more about it. It's Liverpool's only remaining fanzine. All the others have faded away, and this one has just gone from strength to strength. John Pearman, thank you very much. Good evening, and as always, you'll never walk alone.
Thank you very much.